Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Muzz here, obviously, and that is my wheelbarrow full of a wee bit of gravel, because I need it for this. Now, I accidentally put up a Patreon vlog on my main channel today. It was accidentally made public for a wee while, but that's okay. And somebody mentioned on a comment, oh, you should totally do a time lapse of this thing you're building. Hey Fuzzy, hey, come and say hello. Come and say hello. There you go. Anyway, it's too late for me to do the time lapse, but I thought at least I could do a wee video and show you. Hey, come on over. I know. Want to say hello to everybody? What have you got to say for yourself today? What have you been up to? Hey, what have you been up to? Been chasing wee mice? Have you? What have you been doing? I know what you've been doing. You've been eating grass, haven't you? And lazing about like a good kitty. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? I totally lost track of what I was talking about there. Fuzzy here likes this bit. This is actually a French drain that I put in. Now, bearing in mind, I've never done anything like this before. French drains and boardwalks and all that stuff. This is all new to me, right? So, if there's any builders out there who are absolutely dismayed at what I'm about to show you, please refrain from being too harsh in your judgment, and I will explain as I go all the thinking that I've done, and maybe you can be reassured that things will be just fine. But since Fuzzy's here, we'll give him one more little stroke of the head, and maybe if he stays here we can come back and see him. Does that sound good to you, Fuzz? Is that alright with you? Let's get a wee close up. Let's get a wee close up. Yep. Okay. We'll assume that you're totally fine with that. Okay? Good kitty. Right. So, where was I? This is draining what used to be pretty much what I call the mud pit of doom, which is at the back of our house. It used to be a nice big deck here. It was a little bit warped, and what happened was we had to get it we had some issues over by the house, and the deck actually went up to about here. So in order to get into the siding and fix some things on the house, we had to chop up the deck, which was just brilliant. So for a while we had this deck with a giant gap between like here and here, and we couldn't even come out the doors. Yeah, that door's busted. I'm going to fix that. So it reached a stage where, as we noticed with the rain, the deck was hiding it. Basically, this whole area was getting flooded, and it was all just a mud pit, the mud pit of doom. So I dug this. First thing I did was dig this trench down the middle where that black pipe is now. It allowed the immediate evacuation of the water that gathered up, and I dug a trench, and it went all the way down here, all the way through the cat. Yep, talking about you. All the way down here and off to the side and down into the wee stream. There's a wee stream that goes down there. While I'm here, I'll brave the mosquitoes and I'll have a wee look at the stream. It's been extremely dry here, so there's not much of a stream right now, but there are lots and lots of mosquitoes. So let's just not hang about, shall we? Anyway, since we did the trench, turned it into a proper French drain, and it's wrapped with it's a perforated pipe wrapped with non-woven geotextile fabric, which allows for fast water penetration. Then it's surrounded by drainage gravel, wrapped up, and then with soil put on top of that, and the fabric stops the soil from mixing with the gravel and eventually plugging up the pipe, which is what we have here. This right here is non-woven geotextile fabric, which sounds very fancy name, but apparently that's the stuff you want. So that's the stuff I bought. It cost like $90 for a roll of it, and I've still got tons left, so it's good. I'm also using it here for the footings for the catwalk, boardwalk. Did you hear that fuzz? Some people called it a catwalk. Yeah. So you're a cat, so no laughs. Okay, that was a shocking joke anyway. Let's get back over here. So basically we've got this nice bit of grass here, mud pit of doom, and this nice bit of grass over here. And I just really thought the centrepiece is going to have to be something that keeps the drainage in place, but with a deck or a boardwalk over the top of it. So that's what I built, and I put the design together in my head. Seemed to make sense. It's 4 foot wide. This is actually 44 inches from there to there. The deck boards are going to overhang by 2 inches either side, so it's going to be a total of 48 inches, which is 4 feet wide. Oh, well, you can see it here. I've got some deck boards. The first couple of deck boards that I cut are right here. So if we imagine that, it's going to be like there to there. Now, for those of you who think this might not be strong enough, I weigh almost 100 kilos, and I'm not seeing much bend going on there. But I did discover, after I bought the wood and after I designed it, that you're not really supposed to span this deck board wood from there to there. It's supposed to be, well, I think it's supposed to be 16 inches. Now that's 44 inches from there to there. The gap in between is 19 3/4 inches. That allows for 1.5 inches of wood, 1.5 inches of wood, and 1.5 inches of wood. So basically the gap is 19 3/4 inches, and I'm hoping that that's going to be just fine. However, the good thing about this design is, and I'll show you this now, this is section 1 of 3, and if you notice the difference between the sections is we have these concealed hangers to separate them. I haven't put the screws in yet for that one. I've got structural nails holding it in, and I'm thinking of putting maybe even just one screw there and over there to just keep it in place. I've yet to decide that, because the whole strength of this design is, this is section 1, this is section 2, and at any time you can lift it out. You can lift it out, modify it, repack the gravel, level it, and basically 2 people can do that. They can lift out each section, flip it over, do what you need to do, put it back down. That's only if necessary, only if I've screwed up, and only if winter is particularly bad and we have some frost heave, that type of thing. So that is kind of the strength of this design. It also will allow me, now I'm considering because the span here is a little bit wider than you're supposed to go, I'm considering about putting a 2x4 in here, which would hang off here and there. The structural hanger, joist hanger. But I just don't know if that's necessary. If it's, you know, this whole thing is literally 6 inches off the ground. It's not like a deck that's going to be built up high, so I think I'm going to get away with it, but we'll see. Now, what else do I need to show you here? So yeah, the ground here is incredibly rocky. This is the type of soil I'm dealing with. It's this kind of reddish clay soil. And it's just, we have not had water for a while. We've not had rain for a while, so everything's super dusty. These are the type of rocks I'm digging out all the time. So putting down concrete posts, really getting the footings in properly would have been a major expense for me, and we can't afford that right now. So basically all this wood sorry, I'm just letting the wind die down there. All this wood was like $600 for all of this, plus the deck boards, including the deck boards, sorry. So pretty low expense, and the next phase is to then connect it to the house here with a little boardwalk just like that one there, and here just connect that to the house. Yeah, no fuss. So that's going to be phase 2, Fuzzy? Yeah. So phase 2, connect it to the house, and then we're going to put the landscape fabric down here, and we're going to put some nice, I'm thinking some nice gravel down, and then I'm going to use the old decking wood, of which I've got tons left over, because I had to chop the whole thing up. I'm going to use all of that to build plant boxes, flower boxes, things like that. I've already built one. So, hey, you've got stuff in your eyes. Hey, you've got stuff in your eyes. Kitty. So, yeah. The cat has made me lose track of what I was talking about again. Fuzzy, where was I? What was I talking about? The rocky ground? Oh yeah, that's it. So we're using these elephant blocks to do the footings, and I've been bashing them down with a piece of wood to try and settle them and all that. As you can see, this pipe has to weave around this one, and this stuff is called Class A gravel. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be the best for drainage, but it is good for packing down and settling, keeping it settled. So that's going to be quite important, I think. So it's a mixture of both. Plus, I'm not doing it everywhere, so any surface runoff which would gather in this trench will still gather, go through the wee perforated holes in the 4-inch pipe, and be carried down the slope to the French drain. So that's good. And yeah, right now it's just sitting in its hangers, but it's not fastened. But these hangers are incredibly strong, so I feel pretty good about those, and I can always screw them in to keep it closed. But like I said, the strength of this design is that I can keep it separate and lift them out anytime I want. So I'd like to keep it that way if I can. And then after we do the connection to the house, the idea is to then continue out from the house over here to the other mud pit of doom. It's actually not too bad. And do a little floating deck there. But that might be next year, we'll see. So, yeah. So what do you think about all this, Fuzz? Do you think I did a pretty decent job? Eh? Yeah? You don't care, do you? You're going to hide under it. You're going to hide under that bit because there's enough of a gap. I know you love to hide under there. So I'll know where to find you when it's done. And that's where you're going to take all your little prizes, eh? All your mice and stuff like that. Yeah, I know you. The three-legged hunter. Okay. So, what else do I have to talk about this thing? Yeah, well, I was sitting on this idea for quite a while, and I know I've made some compromises, and like I said, I know there's probably some builders who are looking at this and possibly concerned that it might not be strong enough, or maybe I've not done it the right way. One thing I've learned since I moved to Canada, so I'll back up a wee second. So when I lived in New Zealand, I lived there for 12 years and had our own house and we did our own thing and we had no family nearby. And I found that the New Zealand attitude is really quite forgiving. It's all like, just do it, mate, do it yourself, see if it works. And sometimes it won't work, you know. Sometimes things don't pan out, and maybe even sometimes the standards are not that great. But one thing about New Zealand is that, and I think this is a product of them being so far away, they just get on with it. You just have to do it. So there's a very positive mindset, and I had that for a long time. And since I moved here, I kind of lost it. I think I tend to put too much faith in other people's opinions. So when we first moved here, you know, everybody had an opinion about everything. Every time, you know, when we were first setting ourselves up, buying a house and getting our first car and all that, it was, everybody had an opinion, you know. Oh, you don't want to get that car. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. Oh, no, you don't want to buy a house like that. It was all just non-stop judgment and advice. So maybe even just in the last couple of years I've started trying to re-adopt that New Zealand mentality that I had for so long, which is just do it, mate. Just, you know what I mean? Like, this is $600 worth of wood. Okay? And if this doesn't work out right, who cares? It's going to last a few years. You know? I know that people, like I said, I expect people to look at it and shake their head and think, what the hell has he done? Maybe that won't happen with this one. But I sort of expect it with certain people to cast a judgmental eye on these things, you know. And I've started to just really try my best to say, you know what, I'm 42 years old. I should be able to confidently do something like this by myself now. And I'll learn as I go, and I'll make mistakes, and I'll fix them. And I think I've put in enough safety features here that I'll be able to modify it if I have made an error. Like, maybe these ends are not strong enough. Maybe? I don't know. So, anyway, I'm not going to keep talking negatively about my little backyard project here. I want to actually talk positively about it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I just looked at my timer and it says 6 minutes and 20 seconds. But I think it might be breaking up the video files, so I'm not going to panic just yet because my audio recorder says 20 minutes. So. But one last thing, let's grab the spirit level. So, let's just have a wee look and see if it's half decent. There we go, that's pretty damn good, I think. And let's have a wee look at that. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad, although it looks like it might be a wee bit high in the middle there. Not bad, it should be about there. So this corner might need to be packed down a bit more. Decent. Decent. Good. Pretty good. Decent. A wee bit high there. Fuzzy. Psst, psst, psst. Fuzzy. Hey. Fuzzy. Psst, psst. It's a wee bit high over here. Okay? Okay. That looks bang on there. Bang on. Just like I bought one. Oh, what happened there? Oh, that's because this wood in the middle's warped. Oh, wait a minute, it's just the spirit level acting up. Decent. Decent. Good. Not bad. Decent. That's pretty good. Stop it. Hey, no, don't eat that. Don't eat that, you wee jobby. Come on, Fish. Let's go get some dinner. Okay. Come on. Alright, so I think I've shown you pretty much the gist of all of this. I hope you like it. This is what I've been up to the last few weeks, and no doubt it's going to be occupying my time for a few more. And hopefully it'll survive just fine through winter. Yeah, and it'll be all good. So let's say cheerio. Fuzzy, hey, do you want to say bye? Come on now. Don't be antisocial. Don't be antisocial.